Hey guys, MovieFan 356 here, and today's a special kind of video. This is my Q&A video, and you guys had a few days. I made the announcement a couple of videos ago that submit your questions, and I will answer them. I got a decent amount of questions here for some people, so I'm going to try to answer everybody's questions. If I, for some reason, didn't answer your question, I apologize, and just write down in the comments your question, and I'll answer that question in the next video I do. So you won't have to wait for another Q&A if you missed this. But anyway, I wrote them all down here, so I wrote everybody's name down and their questions just to keep it a little bit more organized and neat. And let's start this Q&A thing. I told people though they could put more than one question in, so you're gonna see a lot of these have more than one question. So Oz Treckle has 3 questions for me, and hopefully I'm pronouncing your last name correctly. If not, I apologize. But Oz Treckle asks, favorite actor. My favorite actor is Jack Nicholson. He's always been my number one favorite. There's just something about each performance that he gives, particularly Jack Torrance in The Shining, and 1989's Tim Burton's Batman, and One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I mean, there's just so many great Jack Nicholson films. Few Good Men. I mean, come on. Jack Nicholson has to be my number one favorite actor, but followed behind him, and it's completely for different reasons, Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I love Joseph Gordon-Levitt in pretty much anything he's in. I mean, I think he's a really good actor, and he's grown a lot from being a child actor back in the '80s and the '90s and stuff like that. I mean, he's definitely grown, and I think he's becoming better and better as he gets older. So Jack Nicholson number 1, Joseph Gordon-Levitt number 2. But I know this isn't part of your question. My favorite action star, nobody asked that one, but I'm going to tell everybody my favorite action star anyway. Jason Statham. Badass, nice built. He's pretty built. I kind of have a man crush on him. I am not gay myself, but if I ever decide to go gay, it would be for Jason Statham. And that's now out there on the public. Yeah. So yeah. There you go. Similar question, favorite actress. This was a little bit tougher for me because, I'm not really wowed by too many actresses out there. I mean, there are obviously the ones who I think are hot. All-time favorite actress, probably Jamie Lee Curtis. I mean, take a look at True Lies and the, instant classic Halloween, which started her career in the first place. So, I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis, she's one of those people who gets better and better each time I see her. I haven't seen her so much lately, as great as she used to be. But True Lies, Halloween, I mean, she's iconic for Halloween. But Jamie Lee Curtis now, probably modern, who's my favorite actress working in Hollywood today. I'm going to have to say probably Jennifer Lawrence. I mean, not only is she sexy, she's a good actress, and she can do pretty much anything. American Hustle, then The Hunger Games, and then Mystique in X-Men. So, I mean, she's got a wide range, and she's just a really good actress there. Plus, she looks good. So, probably Jennifer Lawrence. And, but probably of all time, maybe Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie Lee Curtis is one of my favorite actresses, but I'd have to say for all time. And the last one from Oz Treckle, dream job. My dream job would have to be a director. I know you guys can't tell because of my camera. I do these weird kind of shaky cam stuff. I don't want to be that director who does shaky cam. I don't. But I do want to be a director. Hopefully one day I'll be able to do little short films, and then who knows what happens. But yeah, I'd really like to work on that directing skills. This is from Cinestalker. If you guys are, fans of Wet Movie 1, he's done some videos with Cinestalker, and really nice guy. But Cinestalker asks me, rarest movie. He just said rarest movie. I'm assuming rarest movie I own. And I don't really own hardly any rare movies. I mean, I like the weird, obscure stuff, but I don't really own hardly any of those. But one thing probably the rarest one I got, I kind of went through everything I had. And probably the rarest thing I got here, it's probably not even that rare, but I don't see too many people with this particular set right here. I mean, you can get different variations of this set, but this particular set I don't see too many people having. But that is the Puppet Master Killjoy 12 film collection. You get the first 9 Puppet Masters and then the first 3 Killjoys in this collection. I love Puppet Master. I love Killjoy. I think this is a great set to have. I mean, you get like 3 or 4 movies on one disc, sure. But, I mean, the Killjoys, all 3 Killjoys are on one disc. So, I mean, that's kind of cool. I prefer them separately, but it's not a bad set. Puppet Master, I mean, Charles Band, you can't go wrong. Charles Band and Full Moon Pictures. I mean, they really do a good job. I mean, some of the Puppet Master sequels are a little meh, but I think this is a really cool set to have. It's probably the most rarest one that I have, even though it's probably not that rare. It's probably the closest thing that's going to come to it. So there you go, Cinestalker. Hopefully that's rare enough for you. Mike Vance Disturbed. He has, this isn't movie related, but thoughts on the new Slipknot song. Okay, for those of you who don't know, who aren't fans of Slipknot, I like Slipknot. Most of their music, actually. And they have this new single out called The Negative One. And I think it's a badass fucking song. I mean, not only is the music itself badass, but the lyrics in it are, to me, there's a very deep vibe in those in those lyrics if you actually listen to it. So my rating on the new Slipknot song, A. Actually, A plus. I'm gonna give it A plus on Slipknot's The Negative One. The next one, this is not really movie related. I didn't say these questions had to be movie related anyway. So good job for actually paying attention, Mike Vance Disturbed. And Mike Vance Disturbed is actually my best friend, and he's been in some old videos and stuff like that. He might pop up again soon. Who knows what could happen? We'll see about that. But Mike Vance Disturbed also wants to know, why did you move from your Sith 3 Revenge channel to the MovieFan 356? Well, I don't really have a good answer for that. For those of you who don't know, I had a old channel since about 2007-ish. But I really started to do videos around 2010. Was when I actually started to be active and started doing my own videos. And it was on a channel called Sith 3 Revenge. And, we would always, have fun. We just did a lot of out and abouts and stuff like that. There was a lot of out and abouts on that channel. So if you guys are interested in seeing old videos of me, very old videos, some are like maybe 2 years old, a year old, something like that. Go to youtube.com/Sith3Revenge. You'll find all my old content there. I did the same thing. I talked movies. It's good times. But why did I move from Sith 3 Revenge channel to MovieFan 356? I guess, honestly, probably the only reason, and this is the stupidest reason, but it's the truth, the name. Sith 3 Revenge. I made that account right after seeing Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, in the theater. I had Star Wars on my mind. I'm like, I'm going to make a YouTube channel, but no name was coming to mind. So, Sith 3 Revenge it was. And, since my channel was more about movies and it wasn't a Star Wars dedicated channel, I'm like, YouTube, I couldn't find a way to change the name. If you guys knew of a name, let me know down in the comments. I might go back to Sith 3 Revenge. I don't know, I kind of like it here in MovieFan 356. But, Sith 3 Revenge was also some very, very good times. Lots of cool stuff on there. Again, check that out. But yeah, I guess really the name, I just needed a name change, kind of a fresh start. Because I wasn't all that good when I first started making videos. I wasn't. I was terrible. If you go watch some of my first videos on there, I was all nervous in front of the camera. I didn't know what to say. I wanted to talk about movies. Movies has always been my passion. But that's a whole other story entirely. I was shit at making videos at first. So I kind of wanted a fresh start. Chris Helton. Oh, an old friend of mine. Old friend Chris Helton. I kind of grew up with him a little bit. We hung out like every day. He was a cool dude. Shout out to you, my man. Thanks for submitting some questions in here. Really appreciate hearing from you. We don't talk much anymore or hang out at all. We haven't hung out in years. But anyway, Chris Helton here has two questions. Best horror movie ever made. Well, the great thing about film is that it's all subjective. We all have different opinions. Um, the best horror movie. Well, I don't know what the best horror movie ever made is. There's a lot of great ones, but my favorite horror movie is Stanley Kubrick's The Shining with Jack Nicholson. I mean that's the movie that really turned me on to Jack Nicholson. Was The Shining. That's probably my favorite horror movie, followed by John Carpenter's original Halloween. Those are probably my two favorite horror movies. But Halloween's not that far behind The Shining. I mean, that is a classic. And his next question from Chris Helton: Best Rob Zombie film. Best Rob Zombie film. I like a lot. I like most of Rob Zombie's stuff. You know, I'm not his music, and that's not really my kind of thing. I like a couple songs: "Living Dead Girl," you know, "Dragula." A couple of the songs from the House of Thousand Corpses soundtrack are pretty decent. In my opinion, anyway. A lot of people hate Rob Zombie's music, and I get that. I totally understand why. But for me, it's just I kind of like Rob Zombie's music. For his films, most of his movies have came out pretty good. Even his recent one, The Lords of Salem, I didn't think that was horrible, but it felt like a Rob Zombie movie, so it gets effort for that. I mean, it felt like it was a Rob Zombie film. It's not on par with his other ones at all. But the best Rob Zombie film, again, film's all subjective. Who knows what the best one is? My personal favorite, The Devil's Rejects. You can't go wrong with some Tutti fucking Fruity, right? Yeah. I really love House of a Thousand Corpses, though. The first Rob Zombie Halloween, I actually like. And a lot of people are going to click that unsubscribe button after I just said that. But I like the first Rob Zombie's Halloween. Second Rob Zombie's Halloween, well, let's just say you're going to have to wait until October to find out my thoughts on Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 for Halloween Horror Month this year. So, that is my answers to your questions, Chris Helton. Another shout out to you, buddy. Oh, by the way, guys, if you guys hear me reading off any YouTube names, go check out their channel, subscribe. These are all really nice people. And I talk to most of them on a daily basis, honestly. So, Lisa Vance says, first movie ever made. I ain't got a clue. I really don't have any idea of what the first movie ever made was. But that's what Google's for. That's what the internet's for. Go to Bing.com, Google.com, AskJeeves.com. Who goes to AskJeeves.com anymore anyway? But still, you guys remember Ask Jeeves? Off topic. I have no idea what the first movie ever made was, but thanks for submitting your question. Okay, Lance. I'm gonna butcher his last name because I look at it and I never know how to pronounce it. Lance Meller? Is it Meller or Mealer? Mealer or Meller? You'll have to tell me how to pronounce your last name. I'm so sorry if I'm butchering it and I'm wrong both times. But he has a really interesting question here, a question that I like a lot. If you had to produce the worst movie in existence, who would you put as director and who as the writer? That is a great question, Lance. If I was producing the worst movie ever made, who would I put as a director? Probably the worst director in film history, in my opinion, because he's just complete. He had one good movie, in my opinion, and that was in the 90s. M. Night Shyamalan, Sham Hammer, yeah. Sham Hammer as the director. He said, in my opinion, he's only had one good movie, and that was in the 90s with The Sixth Sense. And, who would I put as the writer? I'm trying to think of somebody who hasn't had that many good films when it comes to writing. Directing, he's got some decent ones directing, but writing, Michael Bay. I don't know what else I don't know what to say for the writing. I can't really think of that many writers that are so terrible at everything, because a lot of some people everyone has a bad day at the office. Some have a few bad days at the office, but all in all, I think most writers are for the most part decent, if not good. But I'm gonna have to go with Sam Hammer as director and Michael Bay as the writer. Um, yeah. Robert Sprunger, this guy, man, he's a good friend of mine. He got a lot of questions in here, so yeah, Robert Sprunger, we're gonna get to your questions right now. So, Robert Sprunger, worst movie you've ever seen? So many bad movies out there. Batman and Robin's terrible. Halle Berry's Catwoman's terrible. Elektra's terrible. Non-comic book related, The Rage Carry 2. I fucking hate that movie with a passion. The Crow, Wicked Prayer, terrible. I just reviewed this one, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Part 3. Turtles in Time's pretty bad. I don't know, there's so many bad movies out there. Troll 2, Gremlins 2, yeah, I don't know. The worst one, though, of all of them, probably. One that I absolutely can't stand. Probably The Rage Carry 2, because the first time I watched The Rage Carry 2, and I know certain people like this film, The Rage Carry 2 literally put me into a rage, and that's how I figured out why they called that movie The Rage Carry 2. That was... like I said, there's so many bad movies out there, man. I'm gonna have... I don't know. That's a tough one. I'm just gonna say The Rage Carry 2 is pretty bad. Favorite and least favorite Saw, trap, or game? Okay. I'll give you both. I'll give you my favorite trap and my favorite game, and then my least favorite trap and my least favorite game. Does that work out for you, man? Alright. Favorite trap. I really like the knife trap from Saw 4. That's probably my number one favorite trap. I don't know, because the chain trap from Saw 3 is also really high up there a lot. And of course the reverse bear trap, the pendulum trap from Saw 5. I mean, there's a lot of good ones. My number one favorite would have to probably be the knife trap from Saw 4, because it's personal to Jigsaw. It's his first one. He doesn't even have Billy the Puppet yet. He hasn't... I mean, he made a tape, but he didn't use it. He's doing this all face-to-face, and I thought there was something really cool and unique about that. And, you know, I like knives. I'm a sick fuck like that. I love knives. So, again, probably the knife trap. My favorite game, Williams trap from Saw 6, when they're at the zoo, the abandoned zoo warehouse building, whatever. And, you know, I think that was probably the best game as a whole. I mean, Saw 4 had a couple decent moments. Saw 3 had some decent moments. I'm talking about overall as the game, not just the movie. But I think Saw 6, Saw 7 didn't have all that much memorable stuff from the game itself. So I'm going to have to say Williams' Saw 6 game. Least favorite Saw trap. The one that kind of... I don't really get grossed out very much, but... Okay. It's gonna have to be from... Saw 7, or Saw 3D, Saw the final chapter, where Bobby, played by Sean Patrick Flannery, yeah, I put the questions down for a second, where he's gotta lift that thing up, and, you know, the spikes are going towards her eyes and her mouth and stuff. I didn't understand. I mean, I understood that trap, but I I don't know. That was, to me, probably the weakest Saw trap in the entire franchise, and there's a couple bad ones along the way. Um, and my least favorite Saw game, Bobby's. Again, Sean Patrick Flannery's from Saw 7, Saw 3D. Yeah, that was probably my least favorite. I mean, the concept was fine. Okay, he's this. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen Saw 7. Um, the whole. Oh, you. I don't remember the exact. It's been so long since I watched Saw 7, man. But he wrote a book and he lied about it, so Jigsaw's like, alright, I'm going to have you really experience what you wrote about and how you supposedly survived. That was okay, but the actual game itself, like all the traps, the characters themselves, dull. 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 So there you go, there's that. His Robert Sprunger, these next few are still from Robert here. Funniest line from the Saw movies. I don't know. The first one had a lot. Lee Winnell wrote himself a lot of good lines. Probably the funniest Saw trap I've heard in all of the Saw movies was, I don't give a crap if you covered yourself in peanut butter and had a 15-hooker gangbang. That was a bad Lee Winnell impression. Alright. Favorite Batman villain. Okay, favorite Batman villain. This is so cliched, and it's the most obvious answer. I'm going to go with the Joker, and I'm going to tell you why. The Joker is such an interesting character because no matter what kind of incarnation you read about the Joker, he is always sadistic. He's more sadistic in some incarnations than others. But he's sadistic, but you can tell he's just having a good time while he's doing this. He likes joking around while he does all this sick stuff, and he's always cracking jokes, hence the Joker, but he's really sick. He's a pretty sick individual, and I've always admired someone who could, crack jokes at the most fucked up situations. So I'm gonna say the Joker, but if you had to take the Joker out of that scenario, probably, let's see. I'm trying to think of somebody from the animated series or somebody that hasn't popped up in the movie yet, because there are so many great villains out in the Batman world that we haven't even seen on the big screen yet. Clayface. Clayface is a weird, obscure, interesting character, and but if you had to take the Joker out of that equation, it would be Clayface. But yeah, the Joker, most obvious answer. But I think I don't know why I just did that, but I think. Okay, favorite color. Well, see, this is where I kind of get into a heated debate with people. Black. Black is my favorite color, but a lot of people say, oh, well, black isn't a color. Okay, fuckwad. Then green. If you don't count black as a color, then green. But I really like black and green when they're kind of mixed together. I mean, look at this hat. Mountain Dew, green, black. I mean, my favorite color is black, but if you had to take black out of that equation, it would be green. If you could travel back through time, when would you travel to? Okay, you said travel back through time, so I couldn't go into the future, is what you're telling me. If I had to go back through time, probably somewhere in the 1980s, around 1984, 1985, because movies were good back then, like, really good. I mean, we've got some great movies now. I mean, just take a look at this year, for example, but movies in the 80s were so much different, and especially all the John Hughes stuff. Ferris Bueller, Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink, Vacation. Yes, that was still technically a John Hughes film. I mean, Uncle Buck, Home Alone, well, that was in the 90s, but still. I think Uncle Buck was the 90s too, but still, I mean, come on. 16 Candles, did I already say that? I don't know. The movies were good. Back to the Future, not John Hughes, but, you get my point here. Goonies. Oh my god, Goonies is one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time. And plus the music. The music was so much better. Like the pop stuff, like even the rap. I like 80s rap. I even like 90s rap. I do not like rap today. I am sorry for all you, rap fans out there who enjoy rap. I like Eminem. Eminem I like. not obvious, I know, but still, it's Eminem. I think he's a good he's a good artist. His lyrics are so his lyrics are deep. They're funny. They're brutal. I mean, Eminem has a wide range when it comes to his lyrics. But yeah, probably the '80s because the music, the clothes. I would like to wear the Marty McFly life jacket as a fashion statement. I mean, I couldn't go away with wearing that now without looking like a complete dork. Um, somewhere in the 1980s. All right. Would you rather have a huge house or a fancy car? Probably a huge house because I could put a lot of cool shit in that house. I mean, fancy cars will be cool and all. I get a lot of cool babes, sure, but I could, chicks see have a big house. You're gonna get some of it like that. So, the huge house. Do you like mango cream pudding? You know what? Funny story. Some of you may have heard. I do a little Marlon Brando impression. I refer to the mango cream pudding as unique topping on that. Yeah, mango cream pudding had meringue on it. Meringue. I remember the meringue. Um, so yeah, I think that's why he asked this question. I don't see any reason why he would ask this question. But do you like mango cream pudding? I've actually never had mango cream pudding, and I'm half tempted to try because it doesn't sound that bad. Comment below in the comment section. Is mango cream pudding something that you would recommend to me? Let me know. I've been wondering about trying that out. Here's another Saw-related question for all you people who know Saw. For those of you who don't, just ignore this question. Who would win in a fight from the Saw movies? Hoffman or Xavier? Okay, Hoffman obviously is, spoiler alert, Jigsaw's accomplice. It's not Amanda. And Xavier was the big dude from Saw 2. The big macho guy. Back up, back up. Look who's talking. The only door you know how to open is between your legs. Bad Xavier impression there. So who would I think would win? Xavier looks tough, but this one's got to go to Hoffman because he's been working with Jigsaw. He can be more brutal. And in a fight, sure, he might not be able to fight as good, but in the end, I think Hoffman would knock Xavier on his ass. I don't know why. Favorite food? Like the Ninja Turtles, say pizza. Does you guys like pizza? Doesn't everyone? Yeah, right. Pizza. I like cheeseburgers. Cheeseburgers are good. I mean, just the American food. I mean, yeah, pizza and cheeseburgers. America. And I think this is Robert's last question. What happened to Drill Chair Jeff from Saw 1? Well, Drill Chair Jeff, he's had a traumatizing life. He went to therapy for a while. It didn't work out. But, there's this movie. It came out in the 1980s called The Dentist. And that's what happened to Drill Chair Jeff after Saw 1. So go check out The Dentist from the 1980s because he was so traumatized and so fucked up from being in that chair that he did something in the movie called The Dentist and The Dentist 2. I think there was only 2 of them. So that's all the questions from Robert. We only have a couple more questions left. Collier Jennings, what is your dream movie? My dream movie. My dream movie. If we're talking, because CJ, that's what I call him. I call him CJ. So if I butchered his name, I apologize. CJ, I met him on the Marvel Cinematic Universe Facebook page. I used to admin for briefly, and really nice guy. If we're talking Marvel, your dream Marvel movie, he didn't say dream Marvel movie, but if we're gonna go dream Marvel movie, it would probably have to be, we'll see, we're gonna get the Infinity Gauntlet storyline. I'm going to have to go Marvel Civil War. I mean, how could you not want to see that story on screen? It'll never happen. That's why it's a dream movie. But if not Marvel related, I'd like to see something kind of like The Expendables, but for horror fans. You know, like you get Kane Hodder, Robert Englund, Brad Dourif, Warwick Davis, Gunnar Hansen, Bruce Campbell. Like, get all the main, Doug Bradley. Get all the main horror psychos, the actors, in a movie together, and they can either be as the characters themselves, like Leatherface, Michael Myers, Jason, Freddy. They could actually play their characters, or they could play the actors themselves. Like, they could be playing themselves. They come up with an idea like, oh, I played Leatherface, and Leatherface would totally kick Kane Hodder's Jason's ass. Bullshit. But anyway, they're like, well, let's put that to the test. And then they just start going at it. Call it the Slashables. I don't know. That would be a really cool movie, I think. But I think it'd be better to go with all the as their characters. You know what I mean? Alright. J.G. Momona. Top 3 Marvel movies and why. Okay. We talking Marvel or Marvel Studios and Disney Marvel? Like Marvel Cinematic Universe or just Marvel in general? Marvel Cinematic Universe. Okay. Top 3. Guardians of the Galaxy. Number 1. Because I had so much fun in that movie. It was funny. There was cool action scenes. You really felt for the characters, which it's an ensemble team. And it was a risk for Marvel because, obviously not many people knew about Guardians of the Galaxy. I didn't even know. I still don't even know to this day 100% about Guardians of the Galaxy. I just knew some stuff about Guardians of the Galaxy prior to the movie. So Guardians was a risk for them, and for them to just put this team together without any origin stories first, like without any standalone films first, you really got invested in the characters. I thought that was a powerful thing. It has emotion to it. It's got comedy, great action scenes. It felt like Star Wars to me. And, Star Wars is a classic. I mean, you can't go wrong with Star Wars. And it felt like Marvel meets Star Wars meets, other space operas. And it was really fun. I had a lot of fun in that movie. So, Guardians would be at number 1. But, very closely behind Captain America, The Winter Soldier. I like, 70s political thriller films, and that's what the tone of Winter Soldier was. I mean, you had superhero stuff in there. You had Captain America doing his Captain America thing. You had Falcon in there, Black Widow in there, Nick Fury. There's superhero stuff in there, but it was really more of a political thriller, and I really liked that aspect a lot. I mean, I'm one of those people who did like the first Avenger. I do. I still like it. But Winter Soldier definitely stepped up its game a lot. And I was pretty impressed by that because the Winter Soldier, even though the movie itself didn't really follow the comics all that much, the Winter Soldier is my favorite Captain America story arc. And, even though the movie didn't, really follow the comics all that much, it was still a fun movie, and I like seeing that character and what they did with it in the movie universe. So, Guardians at number 1. Captain America, Winter Soldier, number 2. And number 3, The Avengers. I mean, come on. Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Black Widow, Captain America, Hawkeye, Nick Fury. I mean, this was the first time that we really seen a movie like this where all the superheroes were together. We got all their origin stories. We've seen them get set up for this bigger universe. And to have them all come together and actually not get along at first, because I was glad that Joss Whedon did that, because Joss Whedon is one of those guys who understands what he's working on. Buffy, he obviously he created all that, so he knew what he was wanting to work on. Firefly and Serenity, and Angel, and now the Avengers. He really understands what he's working on, and he tries to make the best possible movie or TV show that he can for us. And comedy, again, action, It's got a little bit of emotion to it. The villain, Loki, can't go wrong. So yeah, Guardians, Captain America, The Avengers, top 3 Marvel movies. Mike Stoffel, and these are the last 2 questions, and I don't even know where we're at the time thing right now because I can't see my time length, how far we're into. Um, Favorite movie and worst movie. Well, I already answered worst movie. My favorite movie of all time, this is an easy one, The Crow, 1994, starring Brandon Lee. That movie, I saw that when I was a bit younger, and, I thought it was cool stuff. This guy jumping around, killing people, and it was all cool to me, but I wasn't at that age where I could really analyze a film and really look at it closely. And but I watched that movie all the time, back to back, all the time. And, yeah, and, watching it when I got a little bit older, did understand it, I looked at it, and I analyzed it, and I thought, this is visually stunning. The acting is phenomenal. The script and the writing is great. The direction, the tone of the movie, the characters, you get invested in Eric. I mean, you feel for Eric Draven, you feel for Sarah, you feel for Shelley Webster, you feel for Officer Albrecht. You do. Obviously the bad guys, you don't really care too much about them, but I just thought that is my favorite movie of all time. So, The Crow, 1994 with Brandon Lee. And I'm actually not really against the reboot. I'm interested. It's not going to be I know it's not going to be the masterpiece as the first movie, but, The Crow, a remake with Luke Evans could be interesting. We'll see how it goes. But, it's not going to be my favorite movie. It's just, the original is always going to be my favorite. And I like this question a lot, too. What is your actor lineup for Justice League? Well, we already have Henry Cavill as Superman. I'm fine with that. I like to keep Henry Cavill as Superman because I thought he did a brilliant job in Man of Steel. He looks like he's going to do a good job, even better job, actually, in Batman v Superman. Ben Affleck, as Batman, I was always behind the Ben Affleck as Batman thing. I think he's going to be probably the best Batman we've had so far. I mean, sure, Michael Keaton was awesome, spectacular. Christian Bale was even a great Batman. And for me, it'd be Michael Keaton, Christian Bale. Top 2 so far. But I think Ben Affleck's going to knock it out of the park. So I've always been behind the Ben Affleck casting. The Wonder Woman casting, though, is a completely different story. I do not want Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, so that's the first one I'm going to change. Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, bye-bye. I'm going to get Jamie Alexander as Wonder Woman. You guys know her from the Thor movies. Just watch her in the Thor movies as Lady Sif. She can be Wonder Woman. She's got the look. She can kick ass. And I really think she can lead that kind of a role because she does great as Sif, and Sif's a supporting character, sure. But Jamie Alexander, man, she can hold her own as Wonder Woman, I think. And that's who I wanted them to pick. But they had to choose some underwear model who was in the Fast and the Furious and who can't act. So, anyway, let's see. Now, who are we talking? Who's going to be in... Because you're saying actor lineup. Well, we don't even know what the lineup in the movie's going to be. But so, Henry Cavill, Superman. Ben Affleck as Batman. Jamie Alexander as Wonder Woman. Let's say Green Lantern's in there. Okay, I don't know if Green Lantern's going to be in there. Who would I cast as Green Lantern? As much as I hate the Green Lantern movie, it was not Ryan Reynolds' fault. And I'd like to see him take another shot at Green Lantern. I mean, I still would rather much him be Deadpool. Sure. If Ryan Reynolds came out and says, okay, everybody has to choose, do you want me to see me back as Green Lantern, or do you want to see me do Deadpool? Deadpool, but that movie was terrible, but it wasn't Ryan Reynolds' fault, and I'd like to see Ryan Reynolds take another shot at it, especially in this new universe, this new tone that they set up. I think he can do it pretty decently. No one else really comes to mind for Green Lantern right now. I'm not too big on Green Lantern. I did really hate the Green Lantern movie. So we got Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, and let's see, let's throw Green Arrow in there. Stephen Amell, I know the TV universe with Arrow is not going to be, if they do decide to use Green Arrow in the movies, it's not going to be Stephen Amell, but Arrow is a show that I am not completely 100% caught up on. I saw the first couple episodes, and I thought Stephen Amell does a phenomenal job as Green Arrow. And I'm not that big of a Green Arrow fan, but watching Arrow, holy shit, Stephen Amell kicks ass as Green Arrow, Oliver Queen. But I'm not completely even caught up. I saw the first couple episodes, so I'm going to have to get caught up, because I'm sure it gets a hell of a lot better than that. But I'm going to say Stephen Amell's Green Arrow. And one more, let's throw in, I can't really, let's throw Shazam in there. I'm going to go with everybody's choice, and probably the one this might actually come to fruition here. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Shazam, Captain Marvel. Because everyone's saying, oh, he's going to be Shazam, and he's hinted at playing Shazam. But they haven't confirmed it or anything yet. I'd like to see Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as a superhero, or even a villain, like Black Adam would be cool, or even Lobo. Lobo would be awesome. But, so that's probably my Justice League actor lineup. Henry Cavill as Superman, Ben Affleck as Batman, Jamie Alexander as Wonder Woman. Let's see, Stephen Amell as Green Arrow, Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson as Shazam. So let's say that's our core 6 in the movie, because let's say we're going to have 6. We'll probably only have 5. Alright guys, so that is the end of my Q&A, and hopefully I answered everybody's questions. If I didn't, I apologize. So yeah, I mean, who knows, if we get, like, let's see, we're almost at 100 now. If we can get up to 150, I'll do another Q&A at 150. I think we're at, like, 96 right now. We're not quite at 100 yet, but I still want to do it anyway. It's close enough, and I'm so grateful for you guys, so I wanted to do it anyway. Let's say about 150. About 150 subscribers, I'll do another Q&A. And if it's 2 days from now, great, I'll still do it. If it's 2 months from now, I'll do it. If it's 2 years from now, I'll still do it. I just might have to be reminded of that. But yeah. Thanks for watching this Q&A. Hopefully I answered everybody's questions, and I hope you liked all my answers. And that's all I can say for today. I'll see you guys in the next video.